Hi, Anthony.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So may I call the meeting to order?
Absolutely.
The meeting is called to order at 9:10 a.m. And the first thing I want to do is have somebody say to approve the agenda, please.
I'll approve it.
Okay, Brian and Barry,
Yeah.
pick a mover and a seconder if you need it that way, and how many approve the agenda?
All in
Yes,
favor?
yes, yes.
Everybody.
Anthony, yes?
Yes,
Thank you. Any pecuniary interest, et cetera, that anybody has to disclose? Thank you. Approval of minutes of the December 17th meeting. Any questions, problems?
It was a short one.
Yeah.
Was a short
I
one.
wasn't there. I wasn't there, so I can't.
All right, so anybody, would somebody like to approve the minutes of December 17th, please?
I'll do that.
Yep.
And seconded by Tom, all in favor of that. Any problems? Great, thank you. And now we're into the business arising from the minutes. And the first thing we get are the main entry quotes. And I don't know whether Jeremy sent it to everybody, but he's been sending stuff to both Per and I about this. He has gone to a couple of different companies. The Sherlock never seemed to get back to him. But then there's another company called GE Sallows Corporation. They're in Barrie. And they're going to look at it. And from what I can see, like, again, they're saying the same thing. It's a residential setup and commercial doors won't fit in a residential frame. So then you basically have to get a quote to replace the whole unit. Or do you want to just replace the residential doors? And he's saying if you're keeping it residential, then basically he would say just go to a lumberyard or a hardware store and buy a residential doors, because this kind of company doesn't sell residential doors. So anyway, and so I think they're going to, I think basically the idea is that they're going to look into it. They're going to come and do an estimate on putting in commercial doors. Correct me if I'm incorrect, Per, because you've been getting all of the same emails. Am I correct?
Well, if you just want me to say, yes, you're correct, you are correct, but I would just like to ask, why is this issue back before us? Because if you recall, when I did the investigation for the door locks, we found that the existing doors would be fine. Then we had an incident where somebody was unable to operate the door properly, and all of a sudden the issue of getting new doors has come back up. When in fact I was present with Jeremy when that person was servicing, person from Barrie was servicing the door, and that the door is operating fine.
Fine.
So I'm not sure why we're even thinking about new doors at this time.
Okay, then that is also a very good thing to bring up, and that is the question. Should we be even looking into new doors at this point in time at all? Because you're right, the people who came to look at the door, they found that it is now working properly. All is good. Do we need to deal with it at all?
Question?
Barry?
I have a question, yeah. So Per, you're more knowledgeable about this than any of us. So right now we have the existing doors and we have a combination lock type system on the door. Is that correct?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Just a key. But had we not agreed to spend the money to put a combination lock on there? I thought we had done that we agreed to spend the money for a digital locking system on that door. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, but because of the times, I think we probably deferred the issue to a later point because it's really not required at this point.
Yeah, because the hall's not being used, but I'm wondering if we've already passed the motion for the expenditure of I'm going to call it the digital lock for whatever term you want to use. And yeah, and the doors are working fine, then I really don't think we need to be talking about replacing doors, but maybe now is a good time to get the lock installed. So we have time to get all the combinations done and get all the bugs sorted out of it while it's not being used.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting concept because I know that the key situation, like there are so many keys floating around in this community for that hall. You have no idea. Anthony, do you have something to say? I keep
No, I'm
seeing
just
you
laughing
lighting
at the
up.
amount of keys that are floating around, sorry.
Well, we could just change the lock so that we get new keys if that was the case, and that would be the cheaper solution.
Well, what we would want to change to, if we were going to change to a new lock, I figure what we would have to change to at this point in time might be a passcode, but I don't know how complicated that gets to be. Barry?
I got a question for Kayla. Kayla,
Hello,
are you there?
I am.
Hello, Kayla, can you confirm that we did pass a motion to spend X amount of dollars? I forget what that X amount of dollars was to put a digital lock on that door. I'm sure we passed the motion to
I
do
didn't
that.
think we did, but check ahead.
Yeah,
I
no, I
didn't
have been looking through the minutes. It's,
I don't think we did, Barry.
I
No?
don't think we did.
No, I think because it was very expensive, we only had quotes. Parrot brought a few quotes and it was up around 7,000. Then whether to get a computer to adapt to it and all that stuff came up.
Well, I thought it came down to like 3,500, and I think I agree with Barry that we did pass a motion and we just deferred it because we really don't need it right now.
Yeah, I'm sure we've passed the motion.
Kayla,
Yeah. And I believe, Perry, it was you that got, wasn't it you that got the quote or one of the quotes on the locking system?
yeah, I found one here from January last year.
And what does it say?
The board discussed the quote provided by Huronia Alarms attached. Perry met with Huronia Alarms and the door installer. The current door can support the installation of keyless entry and automatic accessibility opener. The project will require an additional $200 in electrical to have power at the
Did we
indicated
pass
door.
it?
So I'm
Did we pass a motion to do it?
still
Kayla?
looking. I'm on the hunt. I've got a trail.
Okay.
January 2020.
While Kayla is on that hunt, is it fair to just go on to the exterior paint and then come back to the door?
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
All right, because Pear and Tom did a tour and they're talking about the exterior paint. And Pear or Tom, do you want to tell us what your opinion is, please?
well, the sort of buttresses that hold the sort of eaves, all those little buttresses or whatever that hold the eaves up. I don't know whether or not they need to be painted or not. It looks like it might be, I don't know, dirt, maybe mold or whatever, but a power wash might, clean it up. We don't know underneath there whether or not the paint needs it. And I wasn't too unhappy with the outside, but Pear, what did you think?
well, my main concern as well, Tom, was the buttresses as they remain probably the most significant architectural feature of the building. So they're very much worth preserving, and they seem to have been a nesting place for birds. And have been soiled badly, and I'm sure will need to be painted. And then some kind of measure like those little thorn stickers, you can get them in plastic and you just lay them down or nail them down to prevent future roostings of birds there. And I think they would have to be painted to preserve them. As I said, I believe are a significant architectural feature of the building. If you're doing that, the board and batten is
What about, What about the
And
board
I
and
would
batten?
recommend
You're breaking up a bit, Per.
There
What
were
about-
places where the board and batten, I
what
think,
I
needed
was
to be.
Pardon?
We paint that at the same.
Per, if you can hear me,
I'm sorry.
shut off your, Per, you're breaking up quite a bit. Can you, we just lost you. We just lost Per.
Tom, what were you saying about the board and batten?
I thought most of it didn't look too bad. There might be a few places in the fence or something, that enclosure that needed to be repainted that we've done once before. I guess it's getting rather old, but as I say, I think the only thing that really needs to be done, from what I think anyway, is those buttresses that need to be. And I seriously, I don't know whether or not a really good power washing would help clean it up. It looks almost maybe moldy.
Yeah. So, may I speak, Madam
Yes.
Chair?
Yes,
So it seems to me even if we want to paint them, they got to be power washed first. So
That's right.
So I would put forth a motion that we get a quote to have it power washed, and then we can make the decision whether they need painting. I mean, I'm with Per. If it means going to do maintenance, let's be preventative.
Yeah.
So but let's get them power washed, but it would have to be done before we can get them painted anyways. And we're going to get them painted, often the painter will power wash them before they paint them anyways. So
is there
Yeah.
somebody we can check for a quote for power washing? Or who can hire?
What
my suggestion, I'm sorry.
I
Madam
propose
Clerk.
that we bring in our,
Per, if you can hear me, you're breaking up. Turn your video off because it takes up so much of your bandwidth. If we just have your audio, because you're locking up on the screens here. Now you still
okay,
there?
can you hear me now?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's much better. Yes.
Kara, what were you
Uh,
saying?
I'm proposing that we bring Don Rocky, the gentleman who painted the interior of the building, over to give us his opinion and then report back at the next meeting.
Will
I
you
will
take
second that motion.
all in favor of that?
Yep.
And Per,
Yes,
will
in
you take
favor.
care of getting him over there?
I will.
So Per is going to do that, and then we will make a decision at the next meeting. All right. Now we are
Maybe
going,
Tom would like to be in it with me for that.
Yeah.
yes. Tom, you're good?
I'll let,
Yes, I am.
Now, can
I'll
we
let
go
you know,
back,
Tom, when the date.
can we go back to the entryway thing now? Clayla, did you find anything?
Yep, I did.
Okay,
So in January, we had discussed adding the push button mechanism and having the electrical run to it. In February, the furnace incident happened and we decided that was more important and pushed it to the March agenda. And March obviously came and went with the pandemic. And when we came back in June, we just skipped right over and we're in pandemic mode. So it died in the water. Would we like
so we
to?
have no motion that's passed on anything.
No, not for the.
I didn't,
So then so what shall we do at this point? Does anybody want to make a motion regarding the entryway or the locking system?
Okay, so I would like to make a motion, but before I do, we have a quote from Huronia Alarms. Is that not correct?
Yes.
We do have a, and how much is that quote?
Yeah.
Goodness. Let me find it. Quotes.
Because you got that quote, didn't you, Per? You got that quote?
Correct.
Or was it Tom? Yeah, no, it was Per that got that quote.
Yeah.
I think it's Karen, I believe it was up around $5,000.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Just trying to find where
Now-
this came.
I'm going to ask a dumb question because of my memory. I'm like all of us, we're all getting older. My memory isn't quite as good. We had received that 5,000 wonderful gift donation from your sister's estate, Tom.
Yep.
And did we not talk about using that money to do the doors or?
Yeah, it was available to do anything that would help the, the station.
Right. Because I thought we had talked about using that money to upgrade the alarms, I don't want to use the term alarm system, but the automatic door entry system and all that. And I thought we were going to use that money to cover it. Am I wrong?
Is that a separate amount of money from our, the money that we have or has it been put in with the other money?
It's all included in the account.
Yeah.
Right. And sorry, Brian, what's the balance in our account now?
All right, I do not have December's bank statement yet. It goes to the township and then they send me a copy. But according to my records, as of January the 15th, we have $13,519.79 in the account, which is probably accurate within about $10.
Yeah, okay.
So if it costs us something around, I can't even remember what the possible cost of putting in a touch system for the locking system. Was it a couple of $1,000s?
Oh, we have a quote.
What
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
quote, Kayla?
Your quote was $7,887.40. And that was,
Just to put in a keypad system.
that was for single door access control kit, electric strike, the door interface, the wire mold, the reader wire, the strike wire, the laptop to control keyless entry, automatic door opener, handicap switch mounting boxes, the handicap square exit switches, wireless receiver, and wireless transmitters.
Okay, that's not something I understand.
The
Well,
other
we have to-
estimate,
Because correct,
sorry, there was another estimate
Bella?
from Talbot, and it was 11,774.
Okay,
Well, I could say the keypad thing probably doesn't cost, that much. This whole expense, I think, is so that we can change the password by internet so that each individual person using that would have their own password and then we can change it. But I don't know whether you can get it so that you just go there and manually change it. And it wouldn't cost that much, I wouldn't think.
well, yeah, but then somebody has to go there and do that, which is, see, the thing I'm
You're
thinking, the thing I'm thinking is there is money in a reserve to meet accessibility standards. And when we start adding in all those costs for the automatic door openers and all that, the push buttons for the handicap and that, we could go to council for this, because it's what we're doing to bring up and ask for it out of that reserve. And so we could, because council wants to get into these discussions, maybe we initiate the discussion and say, yes, and here's how much money we need to bring this place in and get council to invest the money into into this door system, which is going to put the automatic door openers and all those buttons that we have to have for the accessibility people.
but isn't it still like we're currently accessible though? So why would they give us money to change our accessibility?
Do we have automatic openers?
We have one in the washroom
think-
door.
Washroom.
The washroom door has one.
Oh, okay. Okay, it does. Okay. So,
So I'm wondering if
okay, so
it would be nice to ask for Clearview money, but truthfully, my bet is because we do have accessibility, let's not count on that. We can certainly ask.
well, clearly part of the quote is to put in accessibility push buttons Well, that states right in the quote that they're gonna put for the front door, not the bathroom doors, but for the front door, front entry, that we need accessibility buttons put in there. Because that's what's included in the quote.
I
Anthony,
can't see
you-
why we would, for that. Why would we not follow that direction and wait? We're also waiting for Jeremy to come back with some kind of cost on commercial or private doors. If there is potential money available for this, Linda, should we not investigate that before we take the issue further?
Absolutely. I think we should try to get the money, but the thing is, my bet is the township would want us, well, we should get a really good quote that we're happy with. And then take it to the township. And see how much the township would be willing to come in on it. My
Right,
concern is we'd better, like, we also better have a quote that if the township says no, we would also have to say, okay, if they said no, are we willing to pay that amount to do it? Like, can we afford that? So I think we need two things going on there, but yes, I think we have to go to the township. Anthony, I think you want to talk.
No, I'm good.
Okay, Barry?
Well, we have a quote. We have a proper quote from Huronia Alarms. That they've broken it down very good about what we're getting, what they're doing. I think we have a valid quote. So I think the question is let me have some discussions with staff and with council to see if, you know, because I don't know what, I have to look to see what else we have to do to meet accessibility. Okay, and I'm not sure. And we've had a report, the engineers have done a report on each hall. So I need to look at that report and see what the total cost is for that. And then, you know, because council is planning to have these meetings, so let's be proactive here and be prepared and say, okay, here's what your engineers say we need to do, but we also need this, you know, and come this, and then I can put forth a motion. But until I can read that, you know, I can. So my suggestion is leave it in my hands to talk to.
Tom, you had your hand up. What did you want to say?
Well, I think that the keypad entry and stuff like that and the accessibility button are two different things. I know that the quote included it, but I think they're two different things. So maybe the council would approve the button, but not maybe the,
Keypad.
but yeah. Because
Kayla, can you send me a copy of that quote? Do we have a copy of that quote?
Yep, I'm gonna add them to these minutes. Just know that that quote is a year old now.
Yeah,
And-
okay.
and should we ask Jeremy to continue getting quotes from these other companies that were, you know, like, I mean, I also think that whenever you're trying to price something, you should have more than one quote.
But we do already. We have two quotes already. And the
We
other
have
quotes
Huronia.
really changing the doors, and I don't think we need to go the expense of changing the doors.
Now, I
Because
know what I'm
Huronia-
saying. We've got the quote from Huronia. What's the other quote that we have that would just deal with the same stuff Huronia is talking about?
We have that quote. Like Kayla said, we have two quotes. The other one's from
Talbot.
Talbot. So we have
Was
we
that,
have
but
two.
was that for just the keypad entry, or was that for a whole new door system?
Let me just double. check.
Talbot's.
I just closed it, Linda.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm joking with you. It's fine. I've added it to our folder for the minutes here. So let me see which one it is. There's
one was
Huronia.
7,000, one was 11.
11,000,
Yes, so
yeah.
Talbot is so they're looking to replace the entire door, remove existing entryway door
Yeah.
system, purchase and install new door systems similar to the existing, retrim and paint as necessary, and provide the electrical supply.
Yeah, so it's a slightly, so they're not quoting on exactly the same thing.
No, man, that's what's going to happen. So
No, and I
It's
believe they
perfect.
also, Talbot
May-
also
may I
provided
suggest-
the door,
Yeah, that includes the price of the doors.
which is I
Yeah.
have a picture of the door that Per had sent as well.
Okay,
Talbot has nothing to do with security system. It is strictly a new door.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
Ooh.
that's right. Whereas Heronia has a security system that goes along with the whole thing, right? But it's not, but it doesn't include a new door.
And Huronia says, can I suggest we defer this until, I'm going to put forth the motion, we defer this till I have chance to review with staff and see how much money is sitting in the thing. And I want to see the report that the engineers put out of what the costs are to bring that building up to accessibility. Because, you know, even if you know, the council agrees or staff agrees to pay a portion of it, you know, so whether it's all of it or a portion of it, I think I think I can sell it to council under the accessibility thing.
So are you making a motion? Are you making a motion?
Yeah, I'm
that
making a
we
motion to defer until Member Burton gets back to the committee with a report. So
Does anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Here? All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Barry. Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right, so there we are deferred.
and Ray wants to speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
Excuse
Anthony.
me, but I think one of the problems we had was we didn't know whether we needed the wheelchair access button on that door. I
Yeah,
don't think Terry Vachon ever got back to us. And if the one in the washroom is enough, or do we needed one to get into the front entrance?
So I
So if we
spoke
can-
with Terry regarding that, and his answer to me, as I understood it, was one accessible door was fine. And because you can access the facility, you'd have to open that partitioner. But because it does lead
So-
into the facility, you are accessible.
So part of Heronia's quote included a door access, which we will not need then.
Well,
And if we,
what we might need or what might be best practice are two different things.
see,
And,
my feeling is that to say to somebody who needs an accessible entrance, that you cannot go in the main entrance, just like everybody else. You have to go in the washroom entrance and then around. I think that is, in my humble opinion,
yeah, I
that
agree.
is not proper. I think people should be able to come and go through the same entrance.
I
That's right.
disagree.
No, well, so anyways,
Okay,
so we put forth the motion to defer. We've passed the motion to defer. Let me do
Yeah.
my homework and then I'll get
Yeah.
back to us. And
thank
yeah,
you.
like I said, Kayla, can you just send me a copy of those two quotes, please?
Sent.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. And
Thanks,
now,
Kayla.
I can't bring up new business yet because we have to do the financial report first. So you're on, Brian, but you already told us we're not very rich.
Actually, we're not really doing badly. As I said, the balance is approximately $13,520. And right now, we are actually making money each month because of EPCOR. They're paying us, and I did an average over the last, since this pandemic started, I did an average, monthly average, and we're bringing in 756 a month by selling electricity. And our electrical cost is only $86 a month. So we're netting about $670 a month from EPCOR. And out of that, we pay Debbie and we pay our gas and any other incidental that comes up. As a result, I think we're netting at the end of the day $191 approximately, just under 200 a month into our account. So we're actually making money.
That is very good news.
Yeah, we're not bleeding. We're not bleeding. We're actually holding our own.
Okay, is there anything else financially you would like to say, Brian?
No, but just bear in mind that any capital cost has to come out of our account, which is sitting, I would I would like to see it go higher. It will once we get back into the rental business again.
Yes.
It'll go up fairly quickly, I would think, but
I hope so.
yeah. So just bear that in mind.
Okay, building and landscaping, anything to say, guys?
I have a question, actually.
Yeah.
I was in a parking lot the other day, and I think this comes up every year about sanding, because now it's all ice again. And what's happening, I believe, is people working at the Village Green are driving on the snow and then packing it down, and it's turning into ice. And people are still using the parking lot. I know the town plows it, but do they salt or sand? And I think this comes up every year. We have to keep asking them about sanding.
Well, I had to call them one day because there was actually something going on at the station, and I had to get them over there, and they did sand before people left. But they put the station parking lot at the end of the list of things to do because they're more interested in the roads and the sidewalks. And then right now, because the station isn't being used, they're probably not even thinking about it much other than plowing it. And
But the parking lot is being used.
the parking lot is being used, but not by anything that is happening at the station. I know what you're saying. Have we got a hope if we call and ask them to please sand, Barry?
Well, I would suggest if it's the people building the park, I keep the Village Green. If it's the Village Green people that are using the parking lot and creating the ice, then shouldn't we be after them to sand it? Why would we be and say, hey, look, guys, you guys are using the parking lot and that's well and fine, but can you please, throw some sand to get them to do it? Why are we paying for it? Or why should, that's just my thought.
Other people use that parking lot besides them, though. There are a number of people,
That's-
not a
that's
lot,
true.
but there are people from the community who just park something there or park there and go for a walk or, it's
Mhm.
not, I don't think it's just those people, but maybe primarily. Yes,
Linda, those people are using it because it was designed for them to use it. The Village Green is a business, and they're
Mhm.
using it as a staging area, and as
Mhm.
such, they should maintain it.
maintain it. Well, the only
And
thing
they should any damage as a result of them using the parking lot, they should also restore it.
why is there something going wrong other than a little ice and snow? They're not damaging it.
No, they're not damaging it. This happens every year, though, but just from cars driving on it. And people walk through there. There's
Yes.
an access to, people just walk through there. It can be dangerous.
You think,
In the
liability.
end, it's Clearview property, and I think Clearview's going to be liable, right?
Yes, they are. And the other
So-
thing that happens too is Bob Rancier, he talked to me, and I did tell him to keep clearing from Caroline Street into the front door, that section. I think he is doing it. And the reason I asked him to do it and keep maintaining it, and I know him, he hardly ever sends us a bill, Brian, but eventually he
really?
will. And the reason I wanted him to keep doing that was because of Debbie. I talked to Debbie and I let her know. I said, I've asked Bob to continue keeping that area open so that when you're going to do your checks at the station, you do not have to deal with ice in the parking lot because you've got a clear path. And I'm hoping that Bob Rancier is getting around to it, but that worries me too, because the township doesn't necessarily clean off everything. And they're not very good at cleaning off that area. So that's why we're still paying Bob. But my bet is he hasn't sent us a bill in ages.
No, he hasn't.
No.
Well, I just sent an email to Dan Perot asking if it can be sanded. I said it's
Good.
become quite slippery, can it be sanded? So hopefully he'll
Like the
respond.
dump
Thank you.
trucks go by the road, they could just pull into the parking lot, drive around, boom, and out of there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we don't need to make this that complicated. I think we should be able
No.
to, and I think, again, I've just sent the email off to Dan and see what he comes back with.
Thank you.
I'm sure they can make it happen. So,
Anything else on building and landscaping?
Mm,
Hmm,
No, not for me.
okay. The only other thing, again, I wanted to bring up, I mentioned it a little earlier. Jeremy Ray is not able to attend our meetings on Thursday, and he's also not available on Friday. He's taken something on. I am asking you, the board members, to let me know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would like each of you to send an email to me and to Kayla, but just to me and Kayla, or to the whole station board for all I care. But send an email letting me know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are there any of those days that would be totally wrong to make a regular meeting day? Because what Jeremy is involved in is going to go on for quite a long time. And because he gets involved in a lot of what is going on, I want him to be able to attend our meetings, if that is fair.
Can we not make the decision at this meeting?
Well, I'd
I'm
like
good
Jeremy
anytime.
to hear what the days are, but
I'm
Yeah,
good
we-
any, I'm good
you're
any
good
day.
any day.
I'll recommend.
Wednesdays, then Monday and Tuesdays. I have county on Tuesdays and council on Mondays. So Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays are okay first thing in the morning, but
Well, Thursdays we can't do, so you're saying Wednesday is, of
Oh,
those 3
Wednesdays.
days. Wednesday is it for you?
Yeah. Yeah, Wednesdays, I mean, I could do Monday mornings, but I would prefer not. If that's the only day that worked for everybody else, but I prefer not because that's my time to prepare for council meetings. So,
Brian?
Wednesday's good.
Wednesday's
Wednesday is
good.
Wednesday's good, Pear?
Monday or Wednesday, good.
Okay, so Wednesday, so Pear is good, Barry is good.
Wednesday,
Anthony?
I'm good. Wednesdays.
All right, I'm going to double check with, I will just make, well, Wednesday just means I don't get my Pilates in, but that's fine. I can survive that once a month. Then we can see what, now Patty, was Patty not supposed to come to this meeting?
Yeah, she said so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But right now, all of us who are here, so I will check with Jeremy to see if Wednesday works for him. I hope it does, because as I said, it would be nice to be able to, so let me see, the third week, the Wednesday, the third week is the 17th of February. And so we could change our next meeting date to February 17th. And hopefully, and again, Jeremy's only said that he's not good on the Thursday or the Friday. So now, I know there's gonna be one conflict, but maybe they have more than one computer. I think they do. Because, yeah, so I'd say we'd have to deal with that. So I'll check with Jeremy and then I'll talk to Kayla. Or I'll email Kayla and let her know what to do. Does that seem fair? We need a
Yeah.
vote on this?
No, it's your meeting day. You guys can choose. It's not set in stone.
Okay, and then is there any other business that anybody would like to bring up? Other than I'm sure as heck looking forward to when we can actually meet in person.
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a while yet, I think. I think this, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we're going to see this. I mean, we've hit record highs. We've hit record highs, and in this week alone, we've had, record number of deaths in Simcoe County, and also
That's
you know,
because
the
of
variant.
Roberta Place. Yeah, and now they've
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
variant.
and
of
the
Roberta Place,
variant
yeah.
is now in our communities, so it's a
Yep.
scary thought.
Barry, just a quick question, if I may. I think previously you said you looked after 4 LTCs.
Yes.
How are they making out with vaccinations to date?
To date, I believe as of now, we are COVID free. I know Simcoe Manor, like Simcoe Manor was the hotspot about before Christmas, but we got that under control. So that's the one in Beaton. Then there's the one in Aurelia that there's been a couple of cases. We're in pretty good shape compared to the rest. I mean, we are having odd cases pop up here and there, and they just go into this instant quarantine and stuff. And we pretty much have set the standard of what to follow. But Simcoe County, we only look after the 4 that are owned by Simcoe County. So that's the one in Penetang, the one in Penetang, the one in Aurelia, the one in Beaton, and the one in Collingwood.
So then you don't, but you must get information on all of the others, like if there was an outbreak. in Creemore.
but they're privately owned and under
Yes.
the jurisdiction of the province, not under.
But my question is, has there been vaccination teams deployed to those LTCs at
Yes.
this point in time?
Absolutely. If you hang on for a sec, Perry, if you just give me a minute, I'm going to open something here. And
Well,
just let me.
that's just a great level of protection.
Yeah. No, it has definitely started, and just let me see what the latest report here that I got. If you bear with me for 1 second. Come on, Jane, you're in here. I know you are.
I wonder if the station will ever become a vaccination station.
It could be.
I think we'll all have to travel to Collingwood for Barry.
Well, no, I wouldn't be surprised to see this become a destination place, but oh, where's Jane? Okay, results.
And they did the flu there.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
but that was the pharmacy asking. Yeah.
I know.
yeah. I know that most of the staff and the staff and the residents of R4 are being vaccinated. I'm not sure what stage we're at. I can get back to you on it, but
And what about the people?
It's been a priority.
What
It's been a
about Creed
priority.
and Valley? Like, well, do you know whether Creed and Valley has been done?
I don't, because it's not under Simcoe County jurisdiction. It's under provincial jurisdiction. I can probably find out for you.
Because I think it would be nice to know about all of the long-term care facilities, not just the ones that are county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. Update long-term care homes. I'm just trying to see. The problem is everything I touch, I have to download, and it's on my phone, and it takes forever to download.
Ever.
Yeah, and then it says cannot download attachment, so I have to. Unfortunately, I'm using my computer, so if I'll go through pair and see if I can forward something to you.
Let us all know, Barry.
Let me assure you, long-term care has been a high priority for Simcoe County, and especially the 4 that we own has been a high priority. Our staff have been diligent and working their butts off and staying totally committed to the residents. It's it's unfortunate, and it got into, and that's the problem. It got into our system as a result of somebody coming from the hospital, somebody in one of our residents in the hospital in long-term care, sent to a hospital. I'm not at liberty to say what hospital, but was sent to a hospital. They were tested there, and so they were sent there not because of COVID, because of another health issue. Then they were sent back, and they were sent back and then tested, and they had COVID. So the hospital said they were clear, and they were not.
Yeah.
And that's how it got in. So because you get false negatives in the testing, right? So
Here?
So further to Tom's brief mentioning of making the station a COVID vaccination place, Barry, what would it take to make this excellent building a center for COVID vaccinations for the area versus, as Linda said, having to go to Collingwood? We could draw in from all over the area. We have, as Anthony pointed out, we have a great parking lot. We could make this a real opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. What it would require is having the vaccine available for the public. Right
Yeah.
now, it's not available for the general public right now. And
Nope.
until the province rolls that out to make it available for the general public, that's what would have to happen. Is
But would we not kind of planning ahead of time to be ready for that once they say it's now available, that we're on the good to
Yeah.
go?
So that would all fall under the I don't know, the emergency preparedness team. That would fall under their jurisdiction, which I'm not part of. I don't sit on that. The mayor sits on that, but I don't.
Wouldn't it be a provincial?
But I can ask the question. I can certainly ask the question. I agree. I think it would be a great location for us to you know,
Would be.
it's just how does the province plan to administer it? You know, and that's the problem. Are they going to allow pharmacies to administer it? If they're going to allow pharmacies to administer, then it's a no-brainer. Or we just deal with Jen and say, okay, here, let's set up this location and make it happen. So
But there was
it's all
something.
how that's.
There was something I heard on the news though one night, and I was thinking that if they allow pharmacies, my fear is that they will allow something like the Shoppers Drug Mart group to do it, not necessarily all pharmacies. Like they'll start, because you know what I mean? Like there was something on the news and I was listening to it and I thought, I don't like the sound of that, because I would like to think it would be other pharmacies, not just that.
I would think they'd have to look at it on a community by community basis.
I would hope so.
like-
Brian?
Yeah, it's just two comments. One on the Shoppers Drug. It seems to me that was back when they were giving the flu shots, and they gave them, they said shoppers could deliver those vaccinations. And then they discovered later that Shoppers wasn't even doing it.
Yeah.
So that didn't even happen. The other comment is having to go to Collingwood. Collingwood, I believe, area is not part of Simcoe County.
Yes, it
So, is it?
It
Oh,
is, yes.
I thought it was a separate municipality.
No, Blue Mountain is not part of Simcoe County, but Collingwood is.
Okay, all right, but it would still seem to me Collingwood would be busy with the population of Collingwood. We should have other centers throughout Simcoe, and that would further what I think Per is saying is offering the station.
Per, what are you cheering about?
I think it goes without question that we will have something set up in Clearview.
I hope so.
You know, and that's, but again, until the province is ready to roll out vaccines for the general public, it's, but I will certainly pass the message on to, I will be talking to our, the chair of the health board. She actually left a message for me because I was in contact with her yesterday. So I will be talking to her this morning. So I will pass that on to the chair of the Simcoe County.
Well,
do you
Mosquito
want to say
Health
something?
Unit.
Well, it'll be a huge undertaking, and maybe they'd have to use the arena. Have you seen some of those places where they're administering it? They're huge. And
Yeah,
there's,
Yeah.
how many people are around here? Lots. You can't
Yeah.
have one person coming in at a time in the station. I don't know. You'd have to have
No,
something.
you come in one door and go out the other door, which we could accommodate. We could accommodate them coming in the front door and exiting, one of the side doors. We could accommodate that at Station on the Green.
But if you got, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 people lined up outside their door, kind of idea.
it
Well,
would
we
be by appointment. You'd have to set up appointments.
It's first of all, there's only 15,000 people in all of Clearview. So,
Let's just dream.
it's now, yeah.
The parking
Well,
lot.
and the thing is, do you set it up where it can be, you know, service the most amount of people. Obviously, from a Clearview point of view, Stayner would be the location, right? Because it's more central, it's got a much higher population of, you know, there's more people living closer to Stayner than there is to Creemore in the big scheme of things.
Yeah.
So it's
They have an arena too.
and I see Kayla smiling away there.
Kayla, do you want us to, do we want us to end the meeting?
Well, I just think you guys are kind of getting into the weeds a little off track, but, and it's all being recorded too. So, just to backtrack a little bit, a tentative date of February 17th, unless I hear otherwise, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thank you, Kayla. And is there any other, is there any business that anybody wants to bring up about the station? That I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you very much. And I will see you again on the 17th, if not out on the streets, and if I can recognize you in your masks.
Yes.
All righty.
Okay.
Pardon? Thank you.
Pear,
I move to adjourn.
Yeah,
Pear,
to adjourn.
Yeah.
Oh, hang
And
on. Pear.
Pear,
I'm asking if Pear and I can have you know what? I'll phone you, Pear,
I
because I
can
have a
leave this
conversation.
on if you'd like. Let me just